Okay. So thanks, guys, for joining. Hopefully this will be a relatively quick one. I know, Igor, you already mentioned your DockerCon. I imagine a few other folks are in that boat as well. In terms of agenda, I myself have been a little bit slack on this side of things this week. So when I was doing the new issues, updated issues, PR, triage, I noticed we had, for the SIG, a growing list of things that were unassigned at the moment. So I went through just before the meeting and through a bunch of assignments where when I was looking at an issue, there was already someone who was obviously working on it, and we just hadn't updated the GitHub information. And that left me with a handful of issues here. So in particular, yet another issue with pods and physical volumes. The CNAME records, which I've struggled to find anyone who is actually familiar with how that should be working right now. And then there was also, I think, a somewhat long-standing issue about the fact that we use the tenant nomenclature rather than project in the cloud provider config. And there was some debate about whether we should or shouldn't change that just from a user-facing impact point of view. And then also the OpenStack cloud provider not working as external. So I guess the question I had, Igor, is if you have any ideas about how we should go forth with the triage process. I get the impression that we're probably at the point where we need to do another kind of bulk triage of outstanding issues.
I haven't been thinking about that. It would be great if Dims would be on call, so he has experience with working on that, and he's been doing bug triage for like several times for entire Kubernetes releases. So I hope that he could give like better suggestions that I can do right now.
So how about I'll take an action on that to talk to Dims on Slack.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just assign that before I forget. Okay. So all of that said, I mean, we did have those couple of things outstanding there. None of them jumped out as me as kind of critical issues, though. I think there were some issues with 1.8 that people have already jumped on and merged patches for and so on. Okay. Moving on. So Cloud Native Con and KubeCon. There's kind of a few things going on here. So the community update, I'm not too worried about. I will either do that myself or I'll rope a few other people in, but I think we have enough stuff to talk about for that slot. There's still an open question about what we want to do with the deep dive. And in particular, there was that thread bouncing around about Kelsey and Theory and others trying to connect and whether they were going to use part of that slot for that cross foundation communication, I guess.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything more about that? Because that kind of went cold on my end.
Yeah, so the issue is the issue that has been raised by several community members that the current slot that we have for Friday night is really late for the similar conversations. I've been reaching to DanCon and to Kelsey, who is like one of their event chairs for getting that. So the last update, they will try to consider what we can do. But I haven't heard from them back in like more than a week, so probably I will ping them again. If not, so the current status for now, we'll have that on Friday night. Not night, but like evening.
Okay. So we'll try and continue to follow up on that. So I'll just leave you as the assignee on that one, if that's okay.
Yeah, please.
And I will try and work with the others on kind of regardless of the cross-community part, still we have a deep dive, and we're probably going to want to use at least half of it for discussing what we want to do in coming releases, since I think we actually do have a relatively good number of folks who are planning to attend the event this time. So we should take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. So documentation, I did want to highlight that someone contributed, and then I made, in addition to the cluster admin docs, there is actually now documentation of the OpenStack Cloud Provider params that lives somewhere other than the code, which has been a long-standing complaint. So that is now merged. We do not yet have a getting started guide that doesn't rely on OpenStack Heat. Chris Hodge and I were talking about trying to do something based on a kubeadmin approach to resolve that, but we haven't done any actual work on that as yet.
Yeah, as far as I remember, Chris has started with like setting up his own cluster somewhere.
Yeah, I think he's using OVH or Vexhost, I can't remember which, but yeah, he has the cloud credit, and I think he has some nodes, but he just hasn't had the chance to sit down and actually automate it all. Okay, that brings me to the end of what I had put in the agenda. Do other folks have things they would like to raise?
No, I don't have.
Adrian, David, anything?
No, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for your attendance. And I guess we'll call it there. And hopefully catch you all on Slack or in a future meeting. Thanks.
Yep.
Have a
Okay.
good day.